Hi everyone, and welcome back into another episode of Awaken Radio. It's so nice to be back here with you again on the podcast, bringing you another conversation. I know I've been bringing you a lot of episodes recently. I'm really in the flow. I'm really in the zone of creating and sharing on here at the moment. So I hope you are enjoying all of the episodes that I'm bringing you and that are coming to you at the moment. And so I have another really powerful conversation and topic for us to dive into today, and that is how to create and embody a magnetic frequency. So we're going to be talking about magnetism today. And I know that magnetism is a popular topic. Every time I talk about it on the podcast, these episodes always get a lot of listens. It's obviously a topic that you love to learn about and hear about. So I'm excited to bring you another conversation on this topic today. And what really inspired this conversation for me was a practice I did this morning. So I was in my morning practice and I was meditating and I was doing this manifestation kind of meditation that I was just sort of creating within myself as I was going through it. It was sort of unfolding intuitively. But in this meditation, I was tapping into the quantum field. I was tapping into the realm of infinite possibilities that exists around us in the quantum field of possibility, where everything exists as energy and everything exists as an energetic possibility. Everything exists as an energetic potential reality. And what we can do when we tune into the quantum field like this and we tune into the realm of infinite and potential possibilities and realities is we can connect in with the energy of the reality or the possibility that we want to create. And so everything in the field exists there as an unmanifested, untapped into potential, like the potential for it to be created, the potential for it to manifest. It's all there as an energetic potential. And when we tune into the field, we can connect in with one of those energetic potentials and start to tune into it and tap into the frequency of it and begin to draw it out of the field and start to turn it from energy and into form. And this is really what manifestation is, especially when you're looking at it from a quantum level like this, from an energetic and frequency level. And I was really like just working in my body and connecting in with this potential and the reality, which is really just my desire. So I'm tapping into the energetic potential of my desire, which exists in the quantum field as something that's not yet manifested, but as a potential reality that could be manifested. And I tune into it and I feel the frequency of it and I bring myself into alignment with it. So I become an energetic match to it. And what I'm doing in this practice is I am feeling into the frequency, awakening the frequency and energy of it in my body. I'm giving energy to this potential reality. And the more energy I give to it, the more I focus on it, the more I become an energetic match to it, the more I help that potential reality move from a potential and into a manifested reality. Okay, so that's just a little overview of this like quantum manifestation approach that I take, and that's a pretty big intro to this episode, but I wanted to give you a little insight into, that practice I was working with, and it then inspired this conversation. I was sitting in that practice and I was just like really tapping into the possibility and the field and everything I could feel. And I felt my magnetism really turn on. And then I had this inspired idea drop in, which was, I want to come and talk about this on the podcast. I want to have a conversation with you around this energetic side of creation and the principle of magnetism when it comes to creating what we want. So that's what we're going to get into today. And I promise you it's not going to be too quantum. It's not going to be too woo-woo. I am going to bring this down into some really practical things that you can work with. But that practice that I took myself this morning is just one example of the types of energetic practices I use when I'm wanting to create and manifest something that I want. And if you've listened to enough of my podcast, you know that I really focus on working with the creation of something energetically before I work with it physically. And this is really a key principle of magnetism. And we're going to talk about the energetic side of things in this episode today. And so this is really what I teach you in Creatress, which is my 4-month feminine manifestation program. And enrollments for that program are now open, and they close this weekend on August 13th, Sunday, August 13th. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, you may not have much time left before enrollments close. So if you've been feeling drawn to this program, this would be your time to step in. And so Creatress teaches you an approach to feminine manifestation. So a feminine approach to manifesting what you want, so that you can magnetize your desires, alchemize your inner blocks, like really move through the things that are holding you back and create the life you truly want with ease and flow and pleasure. And this program is for the woman that's really got desires in her heart. You know, you've got dreams, you've got visions, you've got things you want to create, you've been thinking about and dreaming about these particular desires or dreams or things you want to manifest for some time, and they're still not here. And you want to start to really devote to the creation of them and learn what needs to shift in your approach in order to bring them to life. And so what you really learn in Creatress is this feminine framework to manifesting and creating what you want. So if you're someone that has been thinking about creating all of this, but you don't know how to do it, you don't know where to begin, you don't really know what steps to follow, you're going to learn a really step-by-step feminine framework in Creatress. If you're someone that keeps bumping up against all of these inner blocks, you know, fear, self-doubt, self-sabotage, questioning yourself, wanting to quit, wanting to give up, feeling like it's not possible, you're going to learn how to alchemize your blocks through your body and reprogram your subconscious mind in Creatress. And if you're someone that has been working hard and hustling and trying to push and force to create what you want, and now you're burnt out and you're exhausted and what you want still isn't here, well, Creatress is going to give you a framework that's going to allow you to magnetize your desires, work on your energetic alignment, your embodiment, work with your intuition, work with your nervous system, and to learn this really easeful approach to manifesting and creating what you want. So if you resonate with any of that, Creatress is the journey for you. This is going to be a beautiful 4-month journey. We've already had so many women enrolling and coming into the program for this round, and this will be obviously the final round for 2023. So if you're ready to bring your dreams to life, my love, and you want the coaching and the support and the framework that will teach you exactly how to do that, come and join us in Creatress before enrollments close on August 13th. You can go to conniechapman.com/creatress or go down into the show notes to get the link. So let's get into this conversation on magnetism. And as you've heard, you know, magnetism is something I really focus on in Creatress because it's a key principle of feminine manifestation. And, you know, I don't really see a lot of people teaching about this in the manifestation space. And even when, you know, I use the term feminine manifestation, I think that's almost like a term that I've coined because it's a unique approach to really look at how do we create what we desire in a way that really honors our body and our nervous system and our feminine. So it's very unique. But like I said, it really brings us into this principle of magnetism, which is a key part of our approach and the energy work, right? So the first thing we want to understand about magnetism, about creating a magnetic frequency, about being in our feminine magnetism, is that magnetism is an energetic principle. And so it's not about what you're doing. It's not about the action you're taking. It's about who you're being. It is an energetic principle that's based on who you're being and the energy that you are radiating. And like being a magnet, it's like you're being a magnet. You are drawing something towards you through your energy, through your frequency. So magnetism is not about taking action, doing, going to get what you want. It is about drawing it towards you through your energy and becoming an energetic match to it, which draws it into your reality like a magnet. So just like a rose or a flower magnetizes the bee, just like the egg magnetizes the sperm, just like the feminine magnetizes the masculine, right? This is this principle that is really based on the feminine. And what you can see there in those examples of being the rose or the flower or the egg, it's really about just being. The rose is just being in its magnificence, or the flower, whatever flower it is. It's just being in its energy, in its essence. It's dancing in the wind. It's being beautiful and gorgeous. It's giving off a sweet aroma. It's radiant. It's just being in its essence. And through being in its essence, it draws towards it the bee. Just like the egg is just being, it's just floating, it's just being, it's just existing, but its energy is magnetic to the sperm. And so this really points to and shows us what the principle of magnetism looks like and is about. And it's really this principle of the energy that you embody and who you're being is what radiates a frequency and draws things towards you. And so magnetism is a feminine principle, which is why it's a big part of what I teach in feminine manifestation, right? And so it's this principle of being in the feminine, which is a relaxed, leaning back, trusting, just being in your energy, being in your essence, being in your wholeness, and having that be enough to draw things towards you. So magnetism as a principle is all about the energy that you're cultivating inside of yourself. Being magnetic is an energy of fullness and wholeness and radiance and power and self-connection and pleasure. This is an energy you cultivate inside yourself and your own body. This energy isn't determined by what's happening outside of you. It's something you create from within, and then you embody, and then you emanate. So magnetism has no energies of lack, need, graspiness, desperation, scarcity, chasing, hunting after what we want. It is actually an energy of like wholeness and completeness and beingness, and feeling so full and whole and complete and radiant and happy and self-connected and just embodied and in our essence, that from that place of fullness, we are so magnetic to more. And so magnetism is a quality that is cultivated from within. It's not something that can be based on what is happening outside of you. You cannot be in your magnetic power if how you feel and who you're being and the energy you radiate is being determined by what's happening outside of you. It has to be something that you are beginning to cultivate and activate and turn on inside your own body, because that's really the power of it, right? It's something that you are in charge of, that you can work on regardless of what's happening outside of you. So it's an incredibly important energy to work with if we want more easeful manifestation, right? Because how much ease will come from that if you don't have to just constantly hustle and chase after and work really hard to make happen what you want, but you can work in the energetic realm to get into alignment with it, to become an energetic match to it, and to start to draw it towards you. which doesn't mean action isn't involved, but there is magnetic action that happens. And I'll talk about that at the end, because the action steps come after you have aligned your energy and come into your magnetism. And then however you move from that space is magnetic in the action that you take, right? So it's really important to remember that creating a magnetic frequency really asks us to be in charge of our own energy, of how we feel, of who we're being, of what's happening in our inner world, and of the energy that we are radiating. And I want to give you a really beautiful example actually from a one-on-one client of mine around what magnetism looks like kind of in the real world when we're thinking about masculine and feminine embodiment or relationships. Like, this is just one example. So I've been working with this beautiful client on her feminine embodiment. And, we've been working together for about 4 months, and there's this incredible shifts happening inside of her. And what she said to me the other day in our session was, Connie, the caliber of men that I am now calling in are so different to what I've had before. They are really masculine men. They're showing up exactly how I want them to show up, and it feels so good in my body. She's like, I literally feel magnetic at the moment. And I could see through the way she was talking this beautiful energy she had cultivated inside of herself, and how deeply it was being felt by the universe and by the men who were showing up in her space. Like, she was magnetizing a certain type of man in, not through what she was doing, but through who she was being. And in the session, she said to me, how do I keep this up? How do I continue to have these types of men showing up in my space and coming into my reality? And what I started to unpack with her was, okay, well, what are the particular qualities that you embody? What is this energy that you're embodying? How is it that you're feeling? Who are you being that is allowing you to be magnetic to that type of guy? All you have to do is keep being that. Because that particular quality of guy is looking for a particular energetic in a woman. Like, a really masculine man will be looking for a really feminine woman. A man that wants to lead will be looking for a woman who is willing to flow. A man that wants to give will be looking for a woman who wants to receive. A man that really wants to be in his masculine will be looking for a woman who can soften into her feminine and receive him and let him fully show up in that maybe more dominating or controlling or direct or solid or clear energy, and to feel that she responds to that and is able to receive that. And so I was helping, in my session, helping my client just really clarify, like, what are these qualities you're embodying? What are these energies you're feeling? Who are you being that is already making you so magnetic? And all you have to do is keep being that. And that's the principle of magnetism and just how powerful it is. And I love seeing it play out like this and seeing it manifested in the dynamic of relationships, because when a woman embodies her magnetism like this, she will start to attract in very, very different energies, particularly from men. If she's coming into a relationship with a man, you'll have a very different caliber of man show up based on the energy that you're embodying and based on how much you're in your feminine magnetism. Yeah. So the second principle of magnetism that we really want to work with here, and this is more related to when it comes to manifestation, right? The first one is understanding that we want to create a magnetic frequency, which is about our energy and who we're being. But the second thing is we want to start to match the frequency of what we want. Like what I said I was doing in my practice this morning, I was matching the frequency. And manifestation is really about an energetic match, being an energetic match, where the energy that you're embodying and radiating is a match to the frequency of what you want. And what we need to understand in this energetic universe that we live in, where there's this quantum field of infinite possibilities that are untapped into, that we can connect with and start to materialize, is that everything exists energetically before it exists physically. So it exists as an energetic possibility. And so when we connect in with it, we could imagine you're in the quantum field, or just connecting in with the feeling and the sensation and the energy of what you want, when you really connect in with it and you start to actually feel it come alive in your body, like you start to feel a shift in your energy where you almost like click into alignment with it, and you start to feel these feelings awaken in your body of what it's going to be like when it's here. When you start to feel that, right, you're coming into alignment with the frequency of it. And when you can connect to the frequency of it in the quantum field, in the energetic field, when you can feel the energy of it in your body, you actually now have it on an energetic level. You've now started to create it on an energetic level. You possess it. You possess it. You have it. It's not just that you can feel it, it exists energetically. This is one of the most powerful things to understand about manifestation, that before something exists physically, it has to exist energetically. Everything that we see manifested once existed energetically, as a possibility, as an idea, as a feeling, as a desire. So when you connect in with it energetically, you're already creating it. It already exists, but it's existing on an energetic level before it starts coming into a physical level. So when we start to connect with it on an energetic level, and it exists, we have it, we possess it, we've got it. On an energetic level, it's like it's real, it's happening because we can feel it. All we have to do is continue to hold that frequency and work with that frequency and bring more and more and more energy to it, to that potential reality, until it starts to materialize around us. And it has to. If you're continuing to hold that frequency, it's only a matter of time before it starts to materialize around you. And this is a process of becoming an energetic match, of becoming magnetic to it, of starting to feel it and experience it and know that you have it energetically already. And this is what allows you to tap into this feeling of wholeness, to feel that calm trust and knowing, to feel so at ease around your desire, to feel the feelings of having it even before it's here. And when you embody all of that, you become magnetic to it because you are already radiating the frequency of having it. So can you see how powerful it is to connect in with the energetic frequency of something? Not only does it start the creation process of taking that thing that was just a potential into actually creating it energetically, and then into now creating it on a physical level, right? Because everything in our physical reality is made of energy. Everything is just all of this energy clumped together, and it's become matter. So that's what manifestation is. It's really turning this one little potential sort of spark or point of energy and bringing more and more and more energy to it until it starts to become more dense and more real, and it starts to materialize in the physical realm. I know this is a lot. I actually do a whole module on this in Creatress. I really teach you about the energetic laws of the universe, quantum physics, the field, how energy turns from energy into form. So if this is kind of blowing your mind a little bit, I do go into it a lot more in Creatress. But I wanted to give you a feel of this. Like, can you feel how exciting this is as a potential practice to work with? And so the more that we work with tapping into, the energetics of our desire and activating the frequency and bringing our body into an energetic match and moving from that place of, I don't have it, where is it? Why isn't it here? I'm not good enough. I've been trying so hard. It's still not here. And then being in scarcity and lack and desperation and trying to show up from that space, which is so not magnetic. If my client that I shared about before was showing up in her dates from that energy, this would not be going on. She'd not be attracting the type of guy that she's got coming in, and they wouldn't be magnetized towards her in the way that they are. So it's really when we can create this energy inside of ourselves, which is both through just really coming into our feminine, like the way we take care of ourselves. The more you practice self-care, the more you love your life, the more you take care of yourself, the more you look after your energy, the more you fill your days and your life with things that nourish you and light you up and make you feel radiant and make you feel happy, the more magnetic you become. The more you're just relaxing into the pleasure of life, the pleasure of your body, the pleasure of being in your feminine, the more magnetic you become. And it's so counterintuitive to so many of us that have learnt that creating what we want is all this hard work and effort, when so much of it can actually come in easily through working on our embodiment and our energy. So, as I've talked about before in one of my other episodes around embodied manifestation, the other thing this really does, connecting in with the energy of it, is start to make it feel really safe and familiar to your body. So it can feel more relaxed and open around the energy of it, and you're more able to receive it. But on a magnetism level, it makes you an energetic match. And it allows you to show up and show up into the creation of what you want from a place of like wholeness and fullness, like I have it, it's here. I have it energetically. It exists energetically. When I can feel it in my body, I possess it. And then now it's just the process of materializing it. And that's one of the biggest things in Creatress that I teach is it's actually like how we turn something from energy into form that's the hardest part of the process. So the actual connecting in with the possibility of it, we can all kind of do that. But then the whole journey of being able to navigate, moving it from energy into form and everything that's going to come up along the way, that's really what Creatress takes you through, so that you're getting a lot of support with the bumps and roadblocks and things that might come up along the journey of materializing that. And so the final piece in magnetism is what I was saying before around magnetic action. And we have to realize the how of how we're going to bring this to life, how it's going to happen, comes to you after you match its frequency. So until you get into the frequency of the desire, you are not an energetic match to the how. You're not an energetic match to the steps. You're not an energetic match to the opportunities, to the intuitive wisdom. And this is even an example how much this podcast, which was a step for me to take, came after I did that practice. Had I not done that practice, I probably wouldn't have had the idea for this podcast. Because once I got into the frequency of the desire, I got access to the inspired steps, the insights, the guidance on the how. So just know that with magnetism, action does play a role, but it's magnetic action. It's action where you move from a space of magnetism. Yeah, you're not moving from lack. You're not moving from trying to get or trying to make it happen. You're moving from the magnetic frequency that you have created inside of yourself. So that's just a really important step. Like if you can't seem to access the how, if you can't seem to receive the intuitive action steps, if you can't seem to get any guidance, it's likely that you're not in alignment with the frequency of it. You're not in the energy of the desire, because if you're not in the energy of it, you're not in the energy of the how. If you're not an energetic match to the desire, you're not an energetic match to the how. So if the guidance isn't coming, if the ideas aren't coming, if the steps aren't coming, work on matching your energy to your desire. Get into your magnetism, and then the steps will come. The how will come. The intuition will drop in through your alignment. Yeah, you become magnetic to the how. You become magnetic to the ideas. You become magnetic to the steps. You become magnetic to the opportunities as a result of becoming magnetic to the desire and to the energy of the desire. So I hope that was powerful for you. That came through as a nice big channeled flow. I really felt the energy of this conversation while I was in that practice, and I felt all the words forming and everything I wanted to say. So it was just really alive in my body and really ready to come through. So my love, if you would love some support to magnetize and manifest what you want, if you're really, really curious to learn this approach to manifestation, where we get to really tap into the quantum and work with the energy and understand how to materialize something from energy into form, and work with magnetism and intuition and embodiment and alignment and receptivity and supporting your nervous system. I mean, everything I've talked about today, have you felt any ounce of hustle and struggle in that, right? It's all felt like the frequency of ease. And that's really the approach that I endeavor to create and share with you in Creatress. So enrollments are open until August 13th. We start on Monday the 14th. You're going to receive 8 beautiful modules guiding you through all of the content inside Creatress, the masterclasses, the embodiment practices, the meditations, the manifestation rituals, the journaling, everything that you need to know about the various steps in the feminine manifestation process. And then there's 8 live coaching and support calls. This is where we do Q&A. You bring your questions. I can coach you. I can help you see where you're getting stuck. We'll do embodiment practices on the calls. We'll do rituals. We'll do, bring through some additional teachings. So there's a lot of live support, and there's also a beautiful community space for sharing and support as well. So if that resonates, I would love to see you inside Creatress, my love. You can go to conniechapman.com/creatress. Thank you so much for being tuned in to yet another gorgeous episode of Awaken Radio. If you love this episode, please do share it to your Instagram and tag me at Connie_Chapman. Leave Awaken Radio a 5-star review, as it will support this podcast to reach more people. And feel free to share this episode with a friend if you have someone who you know will gain value from it. Thank you so much for being tuned in, my love, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.